On today's show, we're going to do something just a little bit different with our build and prices. We're going to look at the Chevrolet Colorado, the 2023 Colorado that just came out this year. A lot of cool features with it. And we're going to take on the Z71 and we're going to compare it to the Ford Ranger Lariat. That's right. And I want to see, is there a better value? What do you get in each model? And does that affect their buying? Are you just team Ford or you team Chevrolet? And that's how it's always going to be? Or would you actually cross shop these two and figure out which one is best for you? So let's get into this right now. As always, building prices, we're going to pull up this is the Ford. This is Ford Build and Price website here. And it's, as it says there, build your 2024 Ford Ranger. Well, we know the strike kind of screwed up where we thought we might see these by November, December. And I'm not sure, it'll probably be January before we actually see any of the 2024 Rangers. And I want to look, once again, I want to look at the Lariat. Now I'm going to do four-wheel drive because that's how I always compare four-wheel drives. I personally would never own a two-wheel drive, nothing against it. It's just where I live and the weather and stuff. I always want four-wheel drive. So I'm going to hit start build there. It brings up a page. And what we're going to do is I'm going to select the same color. So we're going to go with black. Now Ford calls their shadow black, which is that right there. Good looking truck. Good looking truck. I can't say it's not. But now we got to go over to the Colorado. We're going to do the same thing. And I think for the Colorado, I think Z71 is kind of what similar trims. Now, depending on options, you may want the Trail Boss or whatever, but I think Z71 is where it's at. And, the biggest difference of the two, you'd like to say, is engine, but not. So as of now, you can only get the 2.3 liter in the Ford. So it's a single turbo engine in this, or if you go with the Colorado, you're dealing with, a 2.7, four cylinder in this thing. Of course, Chevrolet has these weird things that they're doing with that motor where you can get what they call their high output version. And then the Rangers coming down the line, you'll be able to get a twin turbo V6 in there. So if you want to wait for that, but I think for right now, I think the best way to compare these two is just apples to apples. So we're going to leave the four cylinders there, and whichever one you think is the better engine option, it is what it is. This is the Ford Ranger. Once again, we've done it in shadow black, and I want to just load this up here just a little bit so we can get a better idea of it. And that's a good looking right there. That's a good looking truck. You guys know I've been on team Ford Ranger Raptor, and I do like the Lariat version of that truck. I do. It's kind of classy. If you see these plastics here, it's hard to show digitally the way they show it here, but they're kind of a gloss, dark gray. Looks really good. There's a little bit of a sparkle to them. Of course, the black finish is going to be great no matter what. Now let's go over here to the Chevrolet. And this is the Colorado. And once again, I think Chevy's knocked it out of the park. I think the front end of these things look great. They've accented the tow hooks. So, how do you know you got a four-wheel drive? Tow hooks. That seems to be the way now. And once again, I think that is a good looking vehicle. And now it shows starting out at $41,395. As of right now, the Ranger, let's see, summary right here. As of now, the Ranger is $48,605. Now that's quite a bit of difference, and we're going to get into what makes these things just a little bit different, but we got to compare the two. So let's go hit summary here because I don't want to do anything. I just want to leave these trucks alone because I feel like this is the best representation of the package that it comes with right now. Is the best representation that we get from each truck. And so with the Chevrolet, you can see we'll pull up the interior here real quick. I think the interior looks great. Very racy. I feel like these, I normally like these vents like this, but I feel like with Chevrolet, they've done this for quite a while with their Camaros, and they've just tried to have the same design pattern all through there. And I would have liked to seen the trucks have something slightly different, but I still think this is a great looking truck. Get all the nice pinstriping. The infotainment center is nice. You get two full digital, screens there. And I like where the shifter is, except for I wish the shifter was probably on this side and maybe put the four-wheel drive on the other side. But sitting in this truck, you really, you're going to want to set your arm on there. It really didn't. I didn't notice it when I've sat in this and the GMC. That it didn't really bother me. But I think for just the way I like to see it, I think I would like this opposite. So let's go back over here to Ford. Now you can see Ford, you're going to get this big old screen on this thing. And either way, I think you're getting a great system. Don't get me wrong. I think either way, this truck is for screens. It's set up. If you're losing your sight like I am, I seem to be like I need the big screens anymore. So I think both brands have you covered there. And it looks like Ford actually gives you just a slightly larger a dash with their digital dash. And I do tend to like Ford's layout, even though I will say I think Chevrolet with the font style they use in this, and it looks really good. Now steering wheel, I have to give it up to Chevrolet. So let's go back over here. I think the Chevrolet steering wheel, for whatever reason, just looks better, but that's okay. I mean, it's apples and oranges, really. But overall layout of this thing, I've dinged forward over here for this, using the same locks that they've used on everything. Chevrolet really does the same thing. It's all pretty standard, really. Let's go into. I want to show one more photo of this thing. So this is the interior of this. Now the seats of this thing, I like the Ford seats so much better. I think, and remember, once again, I haven't changed anything about this vehicle. These are how this package comes. The base of this package. This is how they come. But I think these nice looking leather seats, they just look great. I like the design of them, and it looks like nice side bolstering on that. And with the Chevrolet, I'm not big on the digital. Now I understand like these raciness of these seats, but this is the Z71. This is what I consider a Z71 is more of the probably my mid 50s, 50-year-old generation that they want just something more or less kid like, maybe we'll say. And maybe the digital camo wasn't there for that. Now I understand with the ZR2 package, yes, you want this flashy thing. So, the stitching and everything does go through the seats, so it does look great. And once again, I think the side of the doors, I'm going to give it to Chevrolet on that. I think they look so much better than what Ford has. Ford's a little kind of plain, to be honest, a little more plain than I probably would like. And that's just me being nitpicky. Remember, I'm just trying to point out key design features of these things that you may catch your eye. So overall, it's 50-50 for me. Which one's done better? I think considering that's probably part of the cost, the raising it from 41. This truck right now is around 41, basically $42,000. And well, it looks like what you're getting, what you pay for with the Ranger. And overall, though, I think both of these vehicles look great. Now let's get out of here. Powertrain. So they're both four-wheel drive systems in this thing. So you're going to get an open style rear in the Ford. So there is no locking diff in this, even though I think you can opt for the the FX4 package, and maybe hopefully we get a Tremor package down the road. But I think you can opt if you need a rear locking differential in that. What do we get with the Chevrolet in this? And that's got me kind of curious. And it looks like with Chevrolet that you're not going to get any kind of locker system in theirs as well, which is I will say, that could have been something, even though they're cheaper in their this kind of similar trims. That seems like something they might have been able to steal some customers away from the other brand, because both of these, we do know both of these are very loyal fan bases. And even though they're not the king of the hills, we do know that the Toyota Tacoma is the king of the mountain of this. They need to compete in that section and try to pull Tacoma and people away. And I think like if both of them would have added a rear locker to this, maybe it would have helped. But once again, I'm not digging into the deep packages of this thing, and we'll go from there. Now it looks like for Colorado with the 2.7 4-cylinder engine, it's going to be obviously 310 horsepower there, and lots of torque, 430 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty crazy in the ZR2. And in the Z71, it looks like we're going to get it down to about 391 still. That's a lot of torque, man. And you definitely, if you're trying to pull something, use your truck to pull anything going up hills, you're definitely going to want that torque. So that's pretty good. And it looks like Ford doesn't have the numbers actually on there. It's not as easy to find. So I had to do a little research here. And as of now, it's showing that the 2.3 liter EcoBoost standard engine is going to create 270 horsepower with 310 foot-pounds of torque. So already it looks like Chevrolet is winning on that front. So back to this. And that just, once again, we do know that Ford is coming out with a more high output engine. If you want to get 315 horsepower and you want to wait for their 2.7 liter twin turbo V6, clearly it's the torque numbers on that are like 430. It would be more in line with what Chevrolet's doing, but as of now, the 2.3 is what Ford's coming out with. Though I do believe, numbers might be kind of skewed. I do believe that the Ranger is probably going to get better fuel economy, and I have nothing to justify that. But just knowing that the 2.7 4-cylinder that Chevrolet's been doing right now, the numbers haven't been that great. So, but anyways, let's get back to the comparison here. And so if you want to compare, one has, the Chevrolet has the 8-speed automatic transmission and the Ford has the 10-speed automatic transmission. And that just seems to be which one do you want? If for one, if you're team Chevrolet, you're going to say the 8 speed's better. If you're team Ford, then you're going to say the 10 speed's better. But either way, I think getting more fuel economy out, having more shift points does allow that. So with the Ford so far, there is no price upgrade for the 2.3. We're going to once again get the 4-wheel drive system in this. It does have the open rear axle, like I mentioned earlier. Lariat is standard because that's what we've picked in the package, and it does come with the sport appearance package, and there's no way around that. That's just how, that's how it comes, which might be part of you're getting a little more stylish than maybe the Z71 is. That's I guess for your eye. I think both trucks once again look great. Now, they both do come with 18-inch wheels. The Ranger has, you know, what they're going to call their aluminum wheels with magnetic pockets. So you can see it looks like a two-tone wheel versus the Colorado. It's basically the Colorado has kind of the same thing. You know, it's just, it depends on which style you like. I probably on both trucks would probably end up doing something aftermarket because I may want something. I probably would with a black truck like this. I'd probably go with some sort of blacked out wheel, maybe an old Krager style blacked out wheel might be fun. So Colorado, we're going to get a 265 65 18, a 32-inch tire. With the Ford Ranger, sadly, we're not going to get as big of tire, and you're going to get as standard, going to get a 255 65 18. So just, you know, just a slightly more narrow tire, we'll say. But overall, they're both going to look pretty aggressive. And I can say in person, I have done time with the Ranger, and it's pretty impressive in this package. One thing I think you're going to get with Ford that you're probably paying for that you're not with Chevrolet is just you're going to get some nice features. So we're going to get a side view power folding glass with heat. So you're going to get heated, glass there. Turn signal indicators when security approach lamps, which that is very nice. I do like having my fob on me. You walk up to your vehicle and it just comes alive. Kind of alerts people around you as well that, hey, you're turning on the vehicle or you're approaching your vehicle. So just be a little cautious. I think that's very nice. And that does seem to be one of the things that Chevrolet has done with the Z71, maybe to keep it a little cheaper. They put some of this stuff into packages. So if you want some of some of the stuff that might be standard on the Ranger, maybe you have to get it in the packages like this. And once again, I don't want to dig too deep into this thing, but yeah, with Ford Ranger, you're going to get adaptive cruise control with stop go technology, which the stop go technology I could care less about. I've deactivated in my Bronco because it's just annoying, and I believe both of them have it. It's pretty much federally mandated anymore. But B&O sound system with this thing, so you are going to get probably a nicer radio system than what the Chevrolet has. As you can see with the Chevrolet, you definitely got to get into the packages, more of the packages for that. But you do get, if you want that, you can get the surround view and all that. And it's really with each vehicle, it's which packages are going to make your life a little bit more convenient. Where with the Ford Ranger, you sort of are forced into, here's what you're getting for the price, which is a pretty hefty price of $48,000. Where maybe the Chevrolet allows you to kind of check the options that you want. But sneaky Chevrolet, usually when you add one of these options, it forces you into 3 other options that you didn't know you wanted or that you needed. And so it is what it is. But let's look at I want to go to the summary of this vehicle. And as you can see here, this is the black Chevrolet Colorado, which is a really good looking vehicle. Once again, I do like the accented tow hooks. It's got this big veil down here to help for fuel economy, and a lot of people pull those off. So overall, it looks like it's going to be $41,395, including destination charges. We started out at $39,900, and basically just the destination charges with Chevrolet. Now let's look at the Ranger here, because once again, you are getting a little bit more of packages wise with the Ranger versus the Chevrolet, and that's probably why the price is up. And remember, these are not apples to apples vehicles. I do know this, but I wanted to kind of feel what I thought was the best that they have to offer in a everyday truck, not their, Ranger Raptor versus ZR2. That's a whole nother argument. But I think for the packages they have here is they're pretty identical, we'll say. But the Ford is going to cost us $48,605. Now, once again, in the comments below, I know you guys always dig through this and I've missed something, which I appreciate. Then you guys leave me a comment and say, hey, did you not see this or hear? And remember, I go through these things, but there's a lot to this that you may focus on that I may not focus on. Might be important to you. That's not to me. But overall, the looks like the Ford is going to cost us $48,605, including a little bit more expensive destination charge of $1,595, and it's pretty crazy. And I'm curious, where are you at? Are you on Team Ford's list here? As we'll bring this up, are you on this truck right here? Do you want the Ranger? You hoping to that'll be in your driveway soon, or are you over here with Team Colorado? And this is the one that's going to make you smile when you enter your driveway or you go to get in your truck each night. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or these badass little mid-sized trucks that I do love driving. This has been your All-Terrain Nation. We've been looking at the 2023 Chevrolet Colorado and the 2024 Ford Ranger. Peace.